everybody applaud at the end. Because poor Dave, you made him feel bad because he didn't get an equal hand. So now you have to give him another hand.
That's all right.
Andrea Siegel is our assistant secretary. She's also the female district leader in the 80th. So, and she won again, so give her a hand for winning again. Stephanie Rep is our corresponding secretary. Now also, she's in charge of keeping our council page up to date.
On Facebook.
Now, what I want you to know is you can send in information and you can turn to the page for anything that we want to get out to the public. Also, there's no political stuff, there's no advertisement, there's no argument, there's no big discussions. If you've got information you want to share with the rest of the community, then please send it in to Stephanie and the council webpage. And last but not least, Kay Cardona is our committee secretary. She also does a great job in the raffles. Don't kid yourself; those raffles are important because if we don't collect any money from the raffles, we can't send out the postcards. And some people don't have email or don't look at it, so we need to send those postcards out. So you'll be before.
I don't get postcards.
We have several people. We have our principal speakers tonight that I will introduce when their turn comes up. But right now, Captain Hall has been here since National Night Out, and he's Inspector Walton's right-hand man, and he knows exactly what's going on in the precinct. So he's going to introduce himself, say a little bit about himself, and just pretend that he's in the same shoes that Inspector Walton. Same person.
Almost. First, I want to apologize on behalf of Inspector Walton. He did want to come tonight, but he did have a personal matter so that he could not attend. He asked me to come at the last minute, so hopefully I can answer most of your questions. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the precinct for a few months now. Okay, I've been in the precinct a couple months now. This is my first community council meeting. I missed the last one. I apologize for that. I was working the overnight when the house exploded in the Riverdale. Just a little bit about myself. Before I came here, I did work at headquarters. I was the CO of the operations research section down there. So I dealt with the Department of Data Systems. I basically did crime analysis for the city. I was involved in a lot of the public data release that we did under the Bratton administration. I asked to come out to the Bronx, and they gave me initially the 4-4, and they moved me quickly to the 4-9. Before I worked at headquarters, I was an executive officer out at the Bayside. I've been on the job for 12 years, 2 of them as a captain. I also worked at the 5th Precinct in Chinatown as a lieutenant. I worked in the Bronx as a sergeant at the 5-2 Precinct. I was a detective in the narcotics division, and I also was a cop in Washington Heights in the 30th Precinct. That's where I got my start. And somewhere in there, the job sent me away for a year to go to school up in Boston. So that's just a little bit about me. My primary responsibilities as the executive officer are domestic violence and traffic enforcement, although I do fill in when the CO, like tonight, when the CO can't fulfill his responsibilities. Just as far as crime is concerned, I'll give you the overview that he typically gives you. This past 28 days, I'm sorry, I don't have comp set sheets to pass out to you, but I'll just go over them. This past 28 days, we're looking pretty good in terms of crime. We're down 39% for the recent 28-day period compared to the same time last year as far as the 7 majors. We're down 39% as far as crime. So that's 57 fewer 7 major crimes than we had the same period last year. This trend, we see it in all categories of crime. We had no homicides in the 28-day period. We had 1 fewer rape than last year, 3 versus 4. Robbery's down 33%. Felony assault is down over 50%. Burglary is down 35%. Grand larceny is down 36.7%, and automobile theft is also down 36%. Year to date, the numbers aren't as extreme. Overall, 7 major crime is up 2.4% for the year. We had 1,018 crimes so far this year versus the 994 that we had at this time last year. We had one more rape than last year, 23 versus 22. We've had 3 homicides this year versus 4 last year. Robbery's down 4%, which is good news. It's 170 versus 177 last year. Felony assault is up 46.1%, 225 this year versus 154 last year. A lot of that is domestic violence, felony assault. So we have been increasing our outreach significantly. We do about 2 outreach events per week in the precinct. And I think that's leading people to report domestic crime more than they typically do. That's a crime that's typically underreported. We're dead even for grand larcenies. We've had 352 this year, same as last year. Burglary's down 7.3%. We had 139 this year versus 150 last year. Since traffic is my specialty, I feel obliged to share some of the traffic enforcement numbers. We've been heading into the right direction this past month. We've had 49 injuries from collisions in the past 28 days versus 70 during the same period last year. So that's a significant decline. Pedestrian injuries, however, are up 1. We had 12 in the 28-day period versus 11 in the same 28-day period last year. And our bicycle collisions are down. We only had 2 versus 8 last year. Most of the enforcement that I oversee, I have the guys, it's related to speeding and those infractions that lead to pedestrian injuries. So just as far as speeding tickets are concerned, in the past 28 days, we wrote 73 speeding tickets versus 40 the same time last year. So we're doubling down on our speeding enforcement. And for the year, we're up 200 speeding tickets compared to the same time last year, which amounts to a 45% increase. Overall, the type of summonses that we write, we wrote 66 with all types of summonses that we write. We were a little bit down for the 28-day period, but we're up for the year. We're up 4.4% in tickets for the year. So we're writing more tickets this year than we did last year, and a lot of that's speeding and failure to yield the right of way to pedestrians. So that's one of the priorities that I've heard that's been communicated to me from the community affairs officers, that speeding's a big concern in this precinct. Also, this year we established an unprecedented school bus campaign where we've been writing people for failing to yield to school buses, just to supplement up the 33